Welcome to Flip Lesson 46 for 6th grade. Today we're looking at two different ideas. The first idea being expanded notation, kind of a review of this idea, but now bringing the fact that decimals also. So we start with write 407 in expanded notation. Right? And so I'm going to write 4 times the hundreds place, which is then plus 7 times 1 for ones place. And so we have the expanded notation. So we can clearly see what expanded notation is. Now today our idea is how do we do this with decimals, right? And the idea is really not too much different. We want to make sure we're showing a power of 10 of some kind. So we're going to start in a very similar way, right? With our 4 times the 1 column. Right? Now we're going to add in more from here. And we want to make sure we're using our place values to help us understand. Okay? So we don't actually have anything in 0. We're going to go to our 7 next. We're going to do 7. Now we need to multiply by something to get it into the, here would be the hundredths. Right? So if we need to get it into the hundredths, we'll have to put it into the hundredths. So we have this and here. Right? This is 100. This showing us the power of 10 right here, divided by 100. And so we get this idea of how to do this recipe. And so our new ideas is when we're working with the tenths, we're working with tenths, or 100ths, or 1,000ths, or so on. So we're working with that. We can see another example of this working the opposite way, of course, right? Now it says we want to write this number. How is this number going to look? Right? We're going to start at 0. We're in the decimal. Right? We're going to 5 times 1 to the hundredths. Right? So tenths, hundredths. That's where our 5 is going to go. And now we're going to the 10,000ths for the 6. So this was hundredths. Now this is thousandths and 10,000ths. So our final answer is 0.0506. So we have all this idea. The other idea we want to look at is really understanding a little bit more about how to multiply by 10 or 100 and what is happening to the decimal. We look at the example. It says if we're going to multiply 5 times 10, and I say 5 times 10 because that's what 5.0 is. It's really 5. This number right here is 5 times 10. And we know that 5 times 10, I can write it more often how we see it. 5 times 10 is 50. But on the board we see exactly what is happening. Right? We see the decimal, which is right here. And when we multiply by 10, we see that the decimal was here and it moved 1 space to the right when we multiply by 10. If we look at our second example, we see 5 times 100. We know it's 500. We understand it. But what is happening to the decimal? 5 times 100, right? Started here, and by 100 we went 1, 2. So it ended right there. So we multiplied down. And so by looking at those examples, we can see and understand how a decimal is moving when we're multiplying by 10. When we multiply by 10, first of all, we're moving to the right. Moving to the right. And we're moving to the right by, really in the end, it's going to be by the number of zeros, right? There's 1 0, so we move 1 to the right. So 5 thousandths times 10 is going to give us an answer of 500. You can see how here's the decimal right here, and multiply by 10, 1 to the right. So get that answer. If we look at our second example, 0.005 times 100. Now we're going 2 times, right? Here's our decimal, 1, 2. So we get a final answer of 0.5. These are concepts we want to understand and look at and to apply to lots of different areas. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to lesson 46. Here's a couple example problems that you can work with. And as you work with multiplying by tens and hundreds, then you'll also be working with this. That is lesson 46.